Okay? Now, I like your excitement, share the database. Of course. You know, when President Edgar Chagwa Lungu died, I made a promise to myself to say, as long as I live, Edgar Chagwa Lungu will not be forgotten. That's for sure. Now, most of you have seen my advert that I've posted, which makes me transition to the next stage in life, okay? I have been with the Zambian people, and I'll continue to be with the Zambian people as long as I live. But I need to transition in my next stage in life. And if you have followed me from the word go, I said, I do not seek a position in government. I do not seek for an appointment. I'm not doing this because I seek an appointment. I got a plan, okay? And that plan, I think it's high time that I started executing that plan. Okay, so you have seen what I've posted, the flyer that I've posted. I'm branching into a political consultant / an analyst. You understand? That for me was a vision. Okay, if anything that's going to come out from what I do is something that is not just going to be centralized on Zambia, but I think Africa and the world and the global stage. So I think for me, the time has come because I'm turning 35 tomorrow. And I think it's high time that I launched this, the skin is giving, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Wait until tomorrow, and I'm going to be pampered. Tomorrow I'll be pampered. So for me, I've done a lot of work, you know. When it was not fashionable to talk about Edgar Lungu, when it was not fashionable to even talk about the Patriotic Front, I spoke without fear or favor. And most of the times, at the time when I was speaking about what the PF did, you know, I was getting insulted and, you know, called all sorts of names. It was really when the PF lost power, it was not common for a person to even talk about the Patriotic Front. And now, fast forward, we are in 2026, and here we are. President Hakainde Hichilema continues to fight the Patriotic Front. You know, we have now about, let me just say this, from my analytical point of view, we've got 3 sections of the Patriotic Front. We've got the Chavinga Patriotic Front, we've got the Mao Samba Patriotic Front, we now have the Makebi Zulu Patriotic Front. So you can see that even with President Hakainde Hichilema infiltrating the Patriotic Front, you are going to understand that the Patriotic Front still remains one of the most formidable, if you want, opposition that we have. And mostly, if you think about it, what has transpired in the Patriotic Front, you're going to find that they have stood the test of time. With the passing of Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and now where we are today, I think the Patriotic Front, like I always say, I think for me it is within the people. It is in the hearts of the Zambian people. I don't know what Sata did when he created the Patriotic Front, but if you look at everything that has been transpiring, you're going to find that the Patriotic Front still lives. The Patriotic Front is in the mindset of the Zambian people, in the hearts of the Zambian people. That's why it's been very difficult for President Hakainde Hichilema to disband the Patriotic Front, despite, you know, all the efforts that he has done. And I think on that regard, I'm going to say that I've contributed so much to ensure that the Patriotic Front does not die. And I think I've done tremendous work in terms of holding the Patriotic Front in its position so that the biggest opposition that we have as a country does not die. And it all started like a joke, you know. I want to reflect on how I started. I started where 5 people were watching me. People didn't know who I was. And mostly the UPND would say, you're just making noise. And I want to thank each and every Zambian that have stood here with me. Each and every Zambian that, you know, I've had the space to accommodate them, to accommodate me with my political analysis in their time. Because I think I've said what is ought to be said. You know, I've done my analysis, and things that are happening today is something that I talked about, you know. Like, for example, I'll go back, I'll take you back. When I said about Edgar Chagwa Lungu, I said to you, the Zambian people, as well as the opposition, to say, look, whatever you're doing today, we have to protect President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, because this is not even about President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. This is about the constitution of our country and one-man show, where this man does not want to relinquish power. This man thinks he can continue governing on a dictatorial type of governance. And I begged the opposition, including you, the Zambian people, to say, no, we need to protect President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, because that wafira protect by Edgar Chagwa Lungu today I've just read that Savoy's NDC has been infiltrated. And these are the things that I talked about 2 years ago. I said to you, the Zambian people, this is not but this man is not that he doesn't want Edgar Chagwa Lungu on the ballot. This man does not want any threat that is going to pose, that's going to be posed on him to say he's going to be removed out of power. Therefore, once about opposition, these are my words that I use. Once about opposition, Shani, it doesn't matter who you are. You know, you look at Gary Nkomo, for example, somebody who stayed with the UPND, somebody who's most of his life. If you think about Gary's political career, you cannot talk about Gary's political career without the mention of the UPND. You know, he had opportunities to work with the Patriotic Front. He had opportunities to work with the MMD government, but he stuck with Hakainde Hichilema in opposition. And let me remind you that but UPN is even worse. Most of the MPs that were with UPN and President Hakainde Hichilema in opposition used to contribute part of their salaries to the UPND. They made sure they brought in a president of their own. So when you look at Gary Nkomo, for example, who's watching? If you talk about the UPND administration, and particularly President Hakainde Hichilema, if you look at Gary Nkomo, for example, Gary Nkomo is one of those MPs, one amongst those MPs that obviously right now poses a threat to Hakainde Hichilema, because, you know, Gary Nkomo is different. Whether you like it or not, Gary Nkomo is different. He's a man of integrity. We are not perfect. He can do one or two things wrong. But to be honest with you, he's a patriotic Zambian. Gary Nkomo is a patriotic Zambian. And that poses a threat to President Hakainde Hichilema. But these are the things that I said. And these are the things that I constantly talked about to say, Hakainde Hichilema tabakwata loyalty. Lord, it doesn't matter. As long as it does not benefit him, Hakainde Hichilema will toss you away. And that is who he is. He can't help it even himself. I used to tell you about when he said about that little boy who used to be punished for losing a cow. But that little boy still lives in Hakainde Hichilema. So he believes that anyone who goes against him must be punished. Okay? Regardless whether that person has stood with him during the test of time and when it's not fashionable. That is who Hakainde Hichilema is. So, for example, my Honorable Gary Nkomo, I can tell you this. There was a time I made a flyer endorsing Gary Nkomo as president of the UPND, and even running for as a presidential candidate. What happened later was Gary Nkomo went to the police to report those that were endorsing him. I mean, it's like somebody endorses President Hakainde Hichilema. Then President Hakainde Hichilema says, "Kamuikatenu because nanchita endorse." Who does that? What sort of a leader goes to a police station to report those that want to endorse him? But that's what Hakainde Hichilema does. He intimidates people. He intimidates those that he thinks they are the threat. So with Gary Nkomo, it started there. When people started saying maybe Gary Nkomo should take over the UPND administration, what happened? You saw Gary Nkomo going to the police station, reporting those people that were endorsing him. But he wasn't doing it because he wanted to do it. He wasn't doing it but because he's a coward. Tayali tells us, and I'm going to quote Tayali, to say, Gary Nkomo, you cannot challenge Hakainde Hichilema because you end up like Dini Mungombe. What did Tayali mean? What happened to Dini Mungombe? So you can clearly see that Gary Nkomo is trying to protect himself. Gary Nkomo is trying to protect his family. That now is looking like a fool. You know, this is a man that was chairman of elections, We all have seen videos where Gary Nkombo was challenging the ECs, and at the time UPND was in opposition, and at the time they were vote counting, Gary Nkombo was there challenging every single vote that President Hakainde Hichilema got. To see President Hakainde Hichilema throw Gary, like toss Gary out like he's a nobody, like Gary is just, a useless individual, tells you that President Hakainde Hichilema has no loyalty. Now, I'm a supporter. Once President Hakainde Hichilema gets what he wants, because right now he's desperate. But Hakainde Hichilema is desperate as things stand. But Wamba said he's grown up with childhood trauma in his therapist. That's true. Because he still hasn't forgotten that he was being punished when he lost the cow. So therefore, anybody that goes or anybody that uses their brains to say, Mr. President, Mr. President, I want to challenge you, he thinks they has to be punished. So this is a story of Gary Nkombo. It's a very, very sad story. Because this is a man that is so brilliant. This is a man that is very, very smart. If anything, this is a man that could take over Hakainde Hichilema in the UPND administration. If anything, this is a man that can bring Zambia, to unite. Gary Nkombo is like that. Gary Nkombo, even at the time ECL was in power, ECL was out of power, is so respected ECL. Bale Mfwana is one of the UPND MPs that really maintained that cordial relationship with President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. But Gary Nkombo was forced to start issuing statements against Edgar Chagwa Lungu. But it wasn't just issuing statements like that. Gary Nkombo was trying to use those statements to please Hakainde Hichilema. Because if you don't talk ill of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Gary Nkombo, any one of us who doesn't talk ill of President Lungu becomes an enemy of President Hakainde Hichilema. And Hakainde Hichilema wants us to adopt his hate towards Edgar Chagwa Lungu or towards those that he thinks they are threats, that we should hate them. In a life, for example, like this, because Gary Nkombo is UPND, Gary Nkombo, I should hate him. For what reason? Mama, what reason? I don't have any reasons to hate Gary Nkombo. But that's what Hakainde Hichilema wants people to do, especially my brothers and sisters in Southern Province. He wants to adopt that hate. That's why when he constantly goes to Southern Province, what does he do? He preaches to say, hey, without me, hey, Mukairo Road, Bare Nyuma, Kwarebo Kunona Mapanga. That's the message he has. He doesn't have developmental message for the people of Southern Province. He doesn't have to say, okay, Nganaisa Kuno, technology center where you all learn about technology and so on and so forth. No, he goes there. He doesn't even respect the people in Southern Province. Or he thinks that I'm going to issue threat remarks and therefore they should vote for me. It's a sad state of affairs. But here you have Gary, who's a civilized individual. That's going to probably bring something different in the political landscape of our country. But because Hakainde Hichilema knows that, what does he do? Bakiantaba Gary Nkombo. So for me, don't even laugh at Gary Nkombo to say, no, like he's a coward, he's a what? No. Gary Nkombo knows what's at stake, and he knows what he's dealing with. Why would Tali issue such statement? So, but this is the sad reality of our Zambian political atmosphere. This is the reality. Hakainde Hichilema is not like he doesn't want to go up against Mundubile, he doesn't want to go up against Makebi Zulu, up against the Fred Membe, up against Calabar, up against any opposition that we have. He just doesn't want to go up against anybody. He wants to continue governing this country on a dictatorial kind of tendency. Look at them by UPND. They wanted to go for an election without them holding a convention until one of them decided to say, no, this is wrong. And that's what we need. We need people that could stand up, in patriotism for the country. That what Charles Longwe did was something so incredible that we all as Zambians should be cheering on. Because, despite Hakainde Hichilema being a dictator, he rose up and said this is wrong. And now, you see, where is even the SG? All we have now is Deputy SG signing those memos of saying we're going for a convention. But even that, I think Charles Longwe stipulates it very well to say, as things stand, Haka in the Ishrema is not eligible to stand on the UPND ticket. But you know, we have made Mingalato as a method of operation. When I was asking for you, the opposition, you, the MPs, mwema voted Bill 7, mwema amboke nomba ku UPND, nomba mwamboke bana, mwamboku irango kwati mwalilire ndarama sha Bill 7. Na udawi ne mea udio akunanikane kudakunanikane ali ndarama sha Bill 7 na barama councillors wonsa wa ndarama. That is why they've gone to UPND, because that's the payment to aka in the Ichlema. Mwamfa. Mwimona kwati bale stape defect. Tabale stape defect yo. Impia badi ya. And sooner or later, walamoso mwana mibatuba PFMP. Awa didn't daramasha Bill 7. Sooner or later, we are going to see them with UPND. Not because PF lacks direction, no. But because they had an understanding to say, ngayapita Bill 7 mfira mwa isa kulile, because haka inde Ishirema has a report on his desk, where it says he cannot win an election. Copper Belt is gone, Lusaka is gone, Wapula is gone, Northern is gone, Eastern is gone. But Kofena Southern Province, a bit of Western Province, and a bit of Northwestern Province. Muchinga, everyone them were fishing ka. Aka in the Ichilema as a report, intelligence report telling him to say, you are not here on the ground. So what does he do? He tries to use psychology against you, the people of Zambia, against everybody that is watching. He tries to pretend and look like UPN is attractive. UPN is not an attractive party. But because these MPs, these councillors, these mayors of the Patriotic Front are not patriotic to the Zambian people or this country, because Bill 7, now they are trying now to look like they are just defecting to UPND. No, Zambians. It is because that is why you are seeing them defecting. And you will see a lot of PF MPs that will defect to UPND. I said this. I told you this. So for me, it's not surprising that these are defecting. But what you're supposed to be doing, for example, the opposition, that is why I'm now branching out. I'm now, opening up, because most of the things that I've done in our country, first of all, it has been centered on President Edgar Chagwa Lungu's coming back into active politics. Then, after President Edgar Chagwa Lungu died, I brought in Makebi Zulu, and now is on the top of the toppest contender of this republic. Now, what I'm trying to do now is to continue with analyzing politics on this platform and provide consultative services on my page, which is called Beverley Kunda. You should follow that page. I'll put the link here. It's there. You understand? Because for me, my job does not end if Makebi Zulu comes into power, or Hari Karaba comes into power, or Fred Membe comes into power, or anybody else for that sort, except Aka Indechima. Baka Indechima Firokuya. My job does not end there. My job is to continue providing checks and balances for whoever comes into power, because that's the only way we're going to develop our country. That said, I also said when I started that my goal, my vision is to branch out into something broad. Not necessarily that I need a political... Babe. Hey, you are early. Jesus Christ, what happened? Welcome back, babe. My Monica. So, that is what I constantly talked about. And this is for me. Turning 35 is a big thing for me. Turning 35 is something that I need to now ask myself, where do I go from here? Okay? Because I've proved that I can do this and it can come to flourish. My Monica. For me, it's not about the way Pilato has been done, for example. Pilato was a political activist, right? And this politician will come to you, Tuombele Shanshanshinga Tuawina will give you this. Where is the activism? Where is the patriotism on Pilato? Pilato is done. Pilato is finished. UPND kaenda. He'll be done. He'll be nobody. But this is what we need for us to develop a country. Whether you support a particular candidate, that candidate is not exempted from checks and balances. For me, that's what I want to see as Zambia. That's a direction I want to see. On present, aka inde ishima fwayo muntu ule ba pepa yonsi. Baka inde ishima fwayo muntu who so. Every now and even if it's wrong, we cannot develop a country where we are constantly praising a president, where we're constantly praising those that in government. We cannot develop as a country. We need to reach a point whereby we speak our mind. We're free to speak in our own country. We're free to provide checks and balances. And that's a Zambia that's going to start getting developed. As long as our mouths are gagged, as long as we cannot freely express ourselves, this country will not develop. It will not develop. No matter what you do, civilization starts by accommodating other people's insults, if you want to put it like that. That's civilization. That's the beginning of development of our country. Otherwise, if Waka is civilized, it would allow dissenting views. That's civilization for me. You cannot keep us as slaves in our own country and say we are progressing as a country. Buffy war. Buffy. You cannot. It means it means you are living federal. Because if you're civilized and exposed, you're going to understand the reality of people having freedoms. You cannot keep us as slaves and say, yo, because ni leo president amufire mwalanda. No. Wututu. If you start inde ichima, why Stephen cyber security bills? Wututu is not civilized. Wututu. Because if he's civilized, he would understand the importance of having a dissenting voice. That's civilization. That's development. Because when you begin to understand, to say every person has got the right to say what they want, and you as a leader, you have to protect, whether you agree with them or not, you as a leader, you have to protect their rights to say what they want. It means you are civilized. It means you are exposed. It means you understand the idea of being free. Why do you say, oh, happy Independence Day, but you cannot speak in your own country? Which independence? If you cannot be free to speak in your own country, how independent are you? If somebody has to stop you from flying out of your own country, how independent are you? If one man has to say, how independent are you? So like I said, this time around, this politics in our country, it's evolving. And today as I speak, we're not voting for a political party. I've said this several times. We are not voting for UPND. We are voting for an individual character, the characteristics of a leader. What sort of a leader do I want? Is this leader going to listen to my cry? Is this leader, despite me using strong language, will he arrest me, or will he have tolerance? Is this leader going to provide economic reforms that are going to benefit me as the smallest person in our country? Is this leader going to prioritize me as a Zambian in order for me to at least have ubukumo? I mean in our mineral resources. Is this leader going to ensure that we as a people live together in harmony? Is this leader going to provide equality among us as a people. This is the issues that we as a people should be asking ourselves when we go to vote in 2030, on the 13th of August 2026. What sort of a leader are we looking for? It's not about a political party. It's about a leader, because we have one president at the time. And those are the questions. And we look at all the presidential candidates that we have and ask ourselves, which leader among these oppositions is capable of providing me with what I need? Which leader is capable of upholding my freedom of expression? Because I am providing a dissenting view. If we want to change the political landscape of our country. What? Oh, okay. To change the political landscape of our country, these are the questions we need to be asking. That is why you need somebody who's not looking for a position in government to advocate for you, the Zambian people, to choose a quality of a leader that we all wish for. We've got so many options. And despite me having my preferred candidate, who's Makebi Zulu, I shouldn't, disregard any opposition that we have. Because then, Mwema Zambians, it's independence of you to look at all that we have and say, who among us these that are presenting to me is the best candidate? Me, I've got my own reasons, which I've presented to why I went for Makebi Zulu. But again, as a political analyst, I shouldn't be too selfish. I shouldn't be too selfish for you, the Zambian people, not to have a view of all the leaders that we have. That's why I said, I think we should have a situation where we have a presidential debate in our country. If we have journalists that are very, very, professional journalists, it may be because someone can do it, where you have all the presidential candidates. Ask them questions, let them debate. You remember the presidential debates? That's where we are going to assess any leader that we want to vote for. Fairly and squarely. None shenanigans, change. Once if ever for ministers presidential candidates, boom. I don't know, but what a presidential debate. I want to see a presidential debate. I want a point where we have a presidential debate. Also, can journalists in our country up their game and bring this presidential candidate, including Naka in the Ichidem, and have a presidential debate? Because you see where we are missing it as a country. Where we are missing it as a country is that we all want to think we should be vuvuzelas of leaders. No. That's why because at the end of the day, when a president becomes a president, that president is not going to be president for chair the voice of Zambia, or Ron, or Nachirima. No, that president will be president of the Republic of Zambia. Therefore, every single Zambian, even including those that don't vote for that president, and by doing so, we are going to ensure that we elect a president that is going to treat us equally, fairly and squarely as a people. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand my existence. I want you to understand where I stand. I want you to understand that I'm just not a person that comes on social media to do political blogging. I want you to understand and give me that respect to say this is Zambia's top political analyst. And now I'm going into consulting. Now even does. Nde antikire kona kuskuru studying eko something. Because I need you to differentiate me. Nchifwa afila mumbika mudi same category. Yo, no. I can be in and out versatile. That's the thing. I think God gave me that opportunity to be. Nawe sabala if I want. I can be ignorant if I want. I can even associate with the top people in the society. Ngama sasa ngofo ndanda na basungwitsungu. Timwadewa, cheo, you come over ngofo apofi. Cheo na accent ya changer. Because I'm that type. I'm broad. And for me, that's civilization. For me, that's somebody who's been exposed. Not baka engagement. Baka engagement, ibale mkanyo kulanda, ngawadi ba exposed. Mwamona ka? Muna. Ngabari we exposed that wale mkanyo kulanda mchalo 2026 umuntu are mkanyo kulanda icharo chiri cheno ubuntu ngamwadi poka guys na imoe mwamona ka so ine lesadi impela ko ichi ubube buro wako but I can fit in any setting tina ese pali wa market apene tu alanda ngachive mbanga chan wino feso I can go in the office, walk into the office and I can change like that. And I'll be professional. I can be a white collar person. I also can be sabala if I want. But I pay go padana ingira. If an ave. Eh, chani was a big that's a gift. That's a gift, and I'm trying now to embrace that gift. So 5 years I've been with you, the Zambian people. And I will continue to be with you despite whoever comes into power. But also I want to launch my new path. Something for me. You understand? Something for me. Something that for 5 years I've been working on. Okay? So I'm going to show you this. I think it's on the page, but I'll show you now. It's something I've been working on for 5 years. Okay? The 5 years I've been doing the political analysis, I've been working on this. It's something that has been on my mind, and I think it's high time that I launched it. And it's not just exclusive to Zambia. It is broad. It is Africa. It is a geopolitics. It's going to be hard. You understand? It's going to be UK. It's going to be the United States of America. It's going to be everywhere. It's going. I'll be in Malawi. I'll be in South Africa. For me, that has always been my vision. Not that I want somebody to come in so I can get a position. For me, my vision has always been political consultants. A firm, a political consultant firm. And I'm launching it. Finally. Tomorrow as I turn 35, you have a page called Beverley Kunda. That page is specifically for political, social, and economic consultants. And that's where I'm branching out. I'll continue on this page giving you my analysis. I'll continue on this page talking for you, the Zambian people, because that isn't me. But there's a service now that I've branched out. A service that I'll provide separately from Chair the Voice of Zambia. But Chair the Voice of Zambia with that service is going to complement each other. But I'll continue. I will never leave you, the Zambian people. Because I saw a comment saying, Chair, I'm late to share. I'm not leaving. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a place for you. So I want to show you this. Because I think I've said all I've said. And most of the things that I've said have come. Yes, Balwama, now you are going to be known Chair the Voice of the World. Yes, thank you so much. That's the plan. You know, if you like sticker, like for example, Kuriba Mundu, if you like sticker, Bonseba opposition, fin to Fimofo Nala did 2 years ago. To say, oh, you muntu, he will come for you. Ngadi kwatila koveka something naka chita shelf. And when he thinks like tiwa mufumia pamupando, he will come for you. And therefore it will take once for Zambians, not the opposition. Remind me this. Once for Zambians, ukuikatana, and decide which leader we are going to vote for. Morning, Tayali, jealous. Tayali, for jealous. Listen, Tayali. This that I'm about to start doing, Tayali. This is what you were supposed to be doing. Apa, you'd have been a millionaire. Tayali, for jealous. Look what he said. Aha, Mwaishe take care, but all the best, but come and consult with me for you to do your consultancy. EPP president. No, you missed an opportunity, my dear. This that I'm about to start doing is what you should have done a long time ago. Because guess what? At the time you were talking about Edgar Chagwa, there were people that wanted to honor you for your service. And as soon as you left Edgar Chagwa, they removed that honor that they wanted to give you. You missed an opportunity. You missed an opportunity. You missed an opportunity. If you are EPP, you shouldn't have even done that. You should have gone straight into consulting, like I've done. I'm not waiting for somebody to take over as president. I'm going now. I'm turning 35 tomorrow. I've done my 35 years of analysis, which I'll continue to do. But I'm also now going into consulting. PR, media messaging, strategy, consulting. I'm going into that. Oh, the defection. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much for reminding me before I go. I'll tell you about the defection. Now I'm not a fiat stick. Thank you for reminding me. I'll tell you. You've done well to remind me. But just in case you want to see what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. It's on the page. It's on Beverley Kunda. Please go and follow that page. Especially if you are a politician, you need to go and follow that page, because that page, or everything that's going to do with consulting and everything like that, will be on that page. Mamonaka? It even got removed there. No, Tali should have been doing political consultancy. Not what he does. He should have done that. Right now, he should have been a millionaire. Mamonaka? But you snooze, you lose. Me, I had a target, and I can tell you that it's evident that I can start something from scratch and it will flourish, because nalikwata vision. Opposition is the people, you're very right. But let me tell you what happened at a defection, because I need to go. The defections, akali imbusha ine catching to me no chair phone. Chair ulikuisa na tindipa. Chair umfwa. Ineba mayo ni ba PF. Mwanfa. Tayali ate abana. No, let's see. Ineba mayo vali sabe takuri cancel wa PF. Mwanfa. Wamayo for bafuane chitenge cha PF. Whether thinking that today kuna nikani kuba PF, chila cha PF. Not being told to say okoko muleya. Ni fine. Those people that you saw at Rama defection, they were tricked as usual by UPND. They were tricked by abantu. A lot of people were caught by these cancelers. Now in the mayor what they organize. Why let musende abantu bafwala marigara yakwa ECL. Okay? Then ngamwaisa kuno muwafurisha marigara yaba ECL. Ati bamayoko bayiroko bayirerira. Ukweba tukwene charo chesu na chibipa. Uyo cancel oyo ino abachise defect. Atukisa abantu sasa nga ba UPND na beka loku. Excuse me. Na omera ba PF baletire na beka loku. Ati bamayofara kwena pano padi umutende kanshoko chirivi. Na tuika loku na shortly. Efo bambiro kubafurisha efitengi cha PF. Abantu bayina mubwapo nile ko baba senda kuma cancel za kuri chiroku. Tieni so. Mubwapwa. Yarama defection mwamwe. Yarama defection mwamwe. Ati mubwapwa fo baba sende. Ati ba mayofo badire baindele na transporti. Iya kuchita hike back home. At what she saw there was saddening. Atukubule fitenge fyaba Edgar Chagwalungu. Ukufiposa punch no kulanda atkai atrepa se chiriro. ate kubalira namakadazi wa UPND kaini mwali filo kulete echiro mwali pase echiro ati fimbi fyo kufya kana kwata no muchinshi ate fya atitike people were tricked every night mwema twaka inde chirema na beshuwa kwa bati kopa belt tabariko that's why mune mona bari yakudya bale faking ama defection era wa mune mona ma MPs kale bachite defect ayama MPs kale yachite defect Bill 7 time. That's why we are in the children that Nadiva station. Nadiva knew padi Bill 7. Because he knew what he did. But the people themselves they were not happy. And that defection it's not a real defection, it is fake. Yes, but PF nama considers kuchibaya kudia. Yes. But PF ya wa mubantu. Abantu badi yesterday they cried that icharo cheska tuishopo chifikile. Imagine ukubure fitenge fyabarungu. No kwambo kunyanta po ufiranga fetch kaidi mwalikana ukupase chiro turechi pase chiro paropeni. Mwae monaka? Atefia atitike kujia. So muinene timati yo ma defection. It was all fake. People were lied to. As usual mnamona ba UPND basenda abantu. Basta transporta abantu. If you watch tidama councillors yali chita win wiki abantu wane mwana tibaria kuchira chaba PF kusanga bali mu UPND no kuwafundisha ifting so muisaka mana iyo ya nama defection ya fake defection baka inde iche mana abapwa reported pa desk yabo yakwe bati tetiba wina my elections regardless nangu ni chula amazambe nzibafikire pali lesera nangu ni chula bakere mini nankwe abantu bakuvotera chula turi mu Europe pwe charo chafika people are resolved abantu they are resolved. Yes, they are not speaking because they are scared, but come 13 August people will speak and they will speak the loudest. Otherwise nangu feni chula fe abantu fe chula uyo George Mwanza from Chipata only to defect on the copper belt. Uriomo aisho udakaria fe abune because if George Mwanza could have even stood independent, mpingari win. Afuma kuchipata aisa muta defect ku copper belt. Nukuza much mwene. That is fake. It is all fake. Wait until parliament is dissolved. Ero mukamwe nati abantu ivory oko yaba. Filavyonza mwere fiabu fi. Aka nature wants to show the world that his party is attractive. It is not attractive at all. It was all stage managed and those people that just send everything no care positive thing for UPND Maria Posa. They were not happy of what they did. Kuchitenge chaba ICO. And you cannot force people. You can pretend. Waka in the ishema is done. Mof. Kadimbusha katisa isa mchero. That chair no ni wewe waba. Kai chair woka bako ni wewe. Ne wewe aliko chair ni wewe. Kai nation of the century ni wewe umfwe fiatistic. No. I have to tell the Zambian people. Nati mwachita bwino. Nebo nko yalanda kubeka na cha. Fina Zambia banati muisa kama na yo. Fiabu fi muirasa kama na yo. Muirasa kama na fiabu fi. Nati no. Tepa no speed. Church live speed. Church tell the Zambian people speed. Zambia ni karikai. UPND is done. That's why we let you convention. That's why we let you gari nkombo. Na bapwa polidike. Era mumike stand by just in case because the papa lot tamwaka bepo. Imomre batawe den tabari eligible na mwini tamuni eligible. There's akumo. So anyway, okay ni no mo to why. My birthday aunt. Mr. Kamanayo. But that arrange but Tali saying that you look beautiful. Tali won't show over. Even Tali for some reason wants to be my friend. I don't know why. Tali is always nice these days to me. I don't know why. Ina day arrange over to our mama very kwatini chipo chaku Malaysia. Ina nachiwa tayaji. But these days, he's very respectful. He's very nice. It's all just, I'm like, Daddy, where is going on? Where is happening? I'm confused. Me, Daddy being nice. You know? I was like, what are we doing? Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Marembe na marembe bakura bakofe mwira abasaka mara waja neshu widia marembe kubara bakofe. I'm very surprised, eh? Daddy is always saying something nice about me. Somebody who used to insult me. Eh? I don't know what is happening. What is going on? And I'm just a nice guy. No, you're not a nice guy. You're a bad guy. For some reason, you're being nice to me. I don't understand. You need to tell me why you're being nice. Because I'm very suspicious. What you want to say about today? You know there. Who's that girl? Daddy, don't trust Daddy at your own risk. Trust Daddy at your own risk. Hey, Papa, do you? Sasa kuleta kudiwa. Mchip na wa ichidem. Ule man Daddy ule kutumina phone kashi ni wa ichidem. Na Papa. Anyway, as I conclude, okay? Thank you, by Maximo. Mazabuka, how's Mazabuka? As I conclude, the people of Zambia. I know, right? He said I'm very beautiful without makeup. I'm like, what is going on? When you say your ex looking beautiful after breakup. No, Papa. That is my brother. But my brother was someone. Brother was two. But if you have my brothers, you are coming of a children, vest chica de go muchirongo mechi. Very serious. That was one of them. Now, where are you paying that? Go and be nice to chair. Ngawa nice. Uka to me phone, never catching by HH, but they to me the phone. Daddy, do not trust him. Okay. Daddy. Daddy, we not take question. Daddy, hey. Chair stand up. Chair face this side. Daddy. From Chipo stand up was a chair stand up. Chair face this side. Oh, careful. Hey. So anyway, to you, the people of Zambia, I want to thank you very, very, very much for your support, your resilience, your guidance, and everything. You and I, we formed a powerful union, a family. It's the people of Zambia on this platform. But please, for every politician right now, whether in Malawi, in South Africa, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, in Africa, and hopefully globally, you please follow the page called Beverley Kunda, the political consultant and analytical page, where I'm providing services for consulting. I like that name, but don't refuse it. The page is there. It's something that I've been working on for the past 5 years, and I think it's time for me to launch that. Hopefully, as we go on, I'm going to register a company here in the United Kingdom, and hopefully I'm going into uni and start anything relating to politics. So it's a good year for me. I think this year, as I turn 35 tomorrow, and I think it's another career kind of thing that I'm branching into, which is very exciting for me on my part. Really, really exciting. I'm looking forward to see what it has in store for me. I'll be going into uni to start anything related to political science and so on and so forth. And that my consultants page, I want for it to go global. It's not just Zambia, but I want it to reach Malawi. I want me to be known in South Africa. I want me to be known in Zimbabwe. I want me to be known in Africa, I want to talk about global politics, not just Zambian politics, but I want to talk about global politics. I want to give global analytical analysis in terms of politics, what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in America, what is happening in the United Kingdom. I want to do all that. So it's a very, very, very exciting journey for me. So it's been an amazing journey, a journey full of laughter, a journey full of sorrows, you know, Edgar Chagwalungu dying and so on and so forth, a journey full of insults and whatever, but it's been a very, very exciting journey. And I will continue coming live. Thank you, Tali, for the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will continue coming live. I will continue to speak for the Zambian people. But I'm also doing these services on the side. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless Zambia. And let's see what the 13th of August has in store for the Zambian people. I'm looking forward to who's going to take the day on the 13th of August, 2026. Hakainde Ishlema must go. Yeah, my services, yeah, the 13 bank a mistake. Who's the provide to UPND? To fear. Dates. Could you UPND kwena yo? UPND must go. UPND have failed the Zambian people. Hakainde Ichema must go. For that party platform, Hakainde Ichema must go. Period. It's non-negotiable, Zambian people. That's non-negotiable. President Hakainde Hichilema cannot consolidate his dictatorship after August. He must go. We don't know who's going to carry the day, but Hakainde Hichilema. So thank you so much for your birthday wishes in advance. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for hearing and whatever. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about tomorrow. I'm excited about this new journey. And I'm excited about what the 13th of August has in store for us. God bless you. My birthday is tomorrow, by the way. Favor ceremony. My darling says, God bless you. Your new direction, my darling, in Jesus' name. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to what it has in store for me. And it's quite exciting. Not even a single pipe of water in Minyamas always, you know. Hakainde must go, you know. And thank you so much for all your birthday wishes in advance. Hopefully I can post me looking demure tomorrow. My pictures looking demure because tomorrow is my birthday, yeah. But I probably won't be live. That's why I'm excited to go live today. So God bless you. God bless Zambia. I might go do my it's a new venture, but like I said, it's consulting. So if the Makebi team want to consult and want me to do something, they're welcome. They're welcome to do so. So it's not completely like, oh, it's just that it's not exclusive to a particular candidate. You get it? It's not exclusive to a particular candidate. That's why it's separate. It's separate from Chair the Voice of Zambia. And that one is just my name. Like I'm saying, that new venture is not exclusive to Zambia. You understand? It's broad. If I want to go into Malawi and study the political atmosphere in Malawi, I want to go to Malawi, understand, and everyone, oppositions in Malawi can consult me, and I'll provide maybe this expertise from the study that I will study from there. So it's not exclusive to a particular candidate. That's what I'm trying to say. This page will be here for you, the Zambian people, specifically. I'll continue providing and talking on behalf of the Zambian people. But that page is not exclusive to a candidate. It's not party political, no. It is broad. It is global. It's going to be big. I got plans for that page. That's what I'm saying. So if, say, the Makebi team wants to engage me in a particular discourse, they're welcome. You understand? But this page will still stand as it is. Does that make sense? How did I miss live? So Francis Kafla says, let me see. Mama Chi, Mama Chichi, does that make sense? Director, yeah. It makes sense, right? Yeah, so that's about it. It's just something I'm doing for me, you know? Honorable Davis in coach. And this is not just about presidential candidates, by the way. Let me, it's a firm, yes. Exactly what my darling has said, favored Kamanga Solomon. But Davis in kosha. So for example, but Davis, you want to be an MP. So it's not just specifically for presidential candidates. It's also for MPs, council, and so on and so forth. But it's kind of like a firm. You understand? It's a business. It's a business now that I'm developing. So it's not exclusive to an individual. So if, for example, Makebi wants the service, okay, it's no longer the way I used to do it. The analysis, the broad analysis of what's happening in Zambia will be done on this page. But in terms of consultancy, strategy, PR, media, and so on and so forth, it's going to be on that because it's a business. It's now become a firm. That's why I say Beverley Kunda consult, political consultants, and so on and so forth. Hopefully, we're going to bring in some, expertise, expert knowledge like economists, and so on and so forth. That for me is my vision that will work under this consultancy where we'll have expertise knowledge. I already got a team, like I've always told you, Shiwambaneka. So that team now is going to cumulate to this consultancy thing. I've got people with PhDs, people with master's degrees that I work with. So we are now going to cumulate into this consultant service. Me being a political analyst, and the people I work with in the background. So I have big people that we work with. So it's about nobody, no man is an island. No one has got the monopoly of knowledge. You have to consult. In terms of economists, sometimes I consult even by Griff Chelwa, that top Zambia economist that we have. I consult him. I write to him, this, what do you think about this? Then he gives me his expertise because an economist. Then I say, oh, okay, so how do I go about presenting this? How do I go about analyzing this? That's what I do. So now I'm just formalizing it. No, even now, look, Bachao says you should have waited until MZ was in plot 1 and then the idea would have worked better. But look, Bachao, let me just answer you this. MZ, nobody believed in MZ. When I brought MZ out, people balenseka. But today is PF president. Against all odds is PF president. And you cannot remove my signature on that. And for me, I feel like it's the perfect time to launch that. Because going forward, even when it goes to plot 1, my signature will still be there because I'll still provide those services. Today, MZ is PF president against all odds. So you cannot remove Chair the Voice of Zambia from that. My signature is there. But I just feel like I'm turning 35. Life is short. If I'm going to launch, I have to launch it now. And that does not mean I will not talk about Makebi Zulu. No, get me right. I will talk about Makebi Zulu as a presidential candidate. And why I think Makebi Zulu. But my services is not now just exclusive to Makebi. I'm opening up. I am opening up. Such that I want Malawi to see what I do. I want Zimbabwe to see what I do. I want South Africa to see what I do. I want Africa to see what I do. Not just Zambia in particular. What's your comment on the new appointments done by MZ? So, I've seen the names that have come, and I have to sit and understand each individual appointment for me to come and give my views on that. I've just read the names that have come, and I don't know the individual appointment that has happened. I don't know that. So I need to understand what this individual has done, for me to give my opinion. I can't just give my opinion without understanding each individual appointment. So on that one, again, it's another time for my analysis It's making sense now, right? I think it's making sense. I just need something for me. Something that I've been planning for the past 5 years. But Robert S. Sunzumwa, send me a message if you want to be part of the team. Tell me what you've done, and we'll see what we can do. But for now, since we're just starting, we want to see how this is going to grow, how it's going to vent. But I believe it's going to grow because we've done the work already. It's just us trying now to be more professional, more business-oriented. Yes, so I love my darling. The way my darling is putting it, we want to work what is that. Like my darling has said, in other words, MZ is the last candidate to get free service. After this, anyone who comes is paid service. Yes, exactly that. Precisely that. Precisely that. What if someone came for consulting on strategy and may work to defeat MZ? How would you take it as a business? So that's a good question, actually. That's a very good question, you know. And this is where, if somebody came to say, how can you give me the idea of how to defeat MZ? That for me is unprofessional. You understand? Because each candidate must come with its own views, okay? And advise them depending on their views. To be a not pro bono, no, I'm not doing any more pro bono work. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Pro bono work is done. Gone. No more pro bono work. I've done that. 5 years is enough. So, I want to answer that question. So, I'm a professional. It's like when you go to a therapist, between doctor-patient confidentiality, there's absolutely no way somebody can come and ask you to say, give me strategies on how I'm going to defeat MZ. For me, I will not provide such services. It's not going to happen. Okay? Because then I'm killing my business. You are going to go to say, Chair told us this strategy of defeating that. You come to me, look, the question should be, how do I win? President, how do I channel a message to the people of Zambia? Okay? Then according to our expertise, we'll look at your vision and how you should translate your vision into something people will be able to understand. You come to us talking about another candidate, that's not going to happen. It's going to go. No services like that. You understand? That's why it's called consultancy. You come, I'm a presidential candidate. I want this message to be heard. We tell you that. If you come thinking you are going to talk about another candidate, you'll be actually blacklisted. We're not going to work with you anymore. So that's not going to happen. I hope I answered that well. The work that I've done with MZ has been pro bono work. Okay? It's been out of my analysis, being a chair, the voice of Zambia. Going forward, it's going to be strictly business. Like, for example, Makebi Zulu advocates. There are so many people that go to that law firm to seek their professionalism, their expertise. They don't talk about other people's situation. They'll look at specifically your situation and they'll give you advice according to your case that you have. And it's not different from what we're going to be doing, from what we're going to be providing. It's going to be, here's my vision, here's my manifesto. How do I channel this manifesto that it reaches the people of Shangombo? It reaches the people in Kasenengwa. It reaches the people that. Then, based on your manifesto, would advise you on how to go about it. Whether you take that advice or not, it's none of our business. Us would have provided, according to the research, according to the economic situation in our country, according to the political landscape of our country, we'll provide that service. So even when MZ comes to me, Chair, I've hit the wall, for example, how do I go about this? This time around, MZ would have to pay for that service for me to provide that. That's the direction I'm heading. And I want to tell you this because I don't want people back saying you at no. I want to tell you that I'm branching out. I'm starting a business, and that business will be centered on political consultancy, economic consultancy, social consultancy. Whilst I still continue talking about social justice on this platform, economic analysis on this platform, I'm talking on behalf of you, the Zambian people. So for me, it has always been a vision. I just feel like this is the perfect time for me to launch it. I think there will be no perfect time. Me, I'm a type of person, when an opportunity like this presents itself, I don't think there will be any other opportunity for me to present my expertise in what I do. So I don't want a situation whereby today Zambians. I want you to understand that I'm launching a business, a consultancy business in what I do. And for me, that's why I always said I refuse for a politician to what? To buy me. I refuse the politician to pay me, because at the end of the day, people would have come to you to say, after all, none of anyone that whatever work I've done in the past would come to you and say, but going forward, I'm telling you, the Zambian people, because it will be a business that all of you will be able to see. Whenever I provide such services, it will be at a fee. It won't be pro bono work. It won't be. But I'll still continue talking on this platform as Chair the Voice of Zambia, talking for you, the Zambian people, talking about the issues of the Zambian people, whilst also providing such a service to politicians. And when I mean politicians, I mean councillors, MPs, presidential candidates. And I don't just want to be in Zambia. I want to be everywhere. Why am I Danica? But does that make sense? You know what I mean? That vision that I always talked about, is it making sense now? That's why I never by UPND now. It's blacklisted. By UPND ni blacklist. Blacklist by UPND. That's a non-starter. Nishnaona ula. Nishkaria yandi. Yaonaika before it even starts. I want to be upfront with you, the Zambian people. I want to be upfront. That's just something professional being done. You never see a lawyer discussing somebody's case with another candidate. And I think this service, if you remember very well, the reason I also studied my political analysis was the fact that when we as a country engaged, is it Lafarge or something, those lawyers for our debt restructuring, which by UPND benefited, I said to myself, why should we go out there and hire somebody who's never even lived in Zambia, somebody who doesn't understand the issues the Zambian people are facing for consultancy service? Why not ourselves develop such services such that these politicians, could pay for those services? And this is not just exclusive to the politicians in opposition. Even going forward, the one that comes, except by UPND. UPND is blacklist. The government that will be formed in 2013 can also come to us and do what? And ask us to say, how are we faring? What is it that the people want? We'll go on the ground, do a survey, ask people, bring the report, and the government will be charged at a fee. But that will be just for the government. How they decide to do with the information that will be provided, that's their own business. And also other politicians, but you don't discuss strategies from this one on this one, then you are not a professional. How UPND did that? Because that's anything to do with UPND non-starter. Non-starter. My UPND must go. Lazard of France. Thank you, Akasuba. For me, that's where my brains came. I said, why as a country, why are we paying millions to hire a foreign company? A foreign company to restructure our debt. Don't we have economists? Don't we have lawyers? Don't we have these people that can do this? So for me, it started way back. And I said, I don't think as a country we have such services. And I think it's high time we had such services and probably provide employment as we grow to the people of Zambia. But UPND, never. Blacklist, don't even think about it. You are blacklisted. Blacklist. Hey, no. Kumambara UPND. Look at that. Like I was saying, Tayali could have done what I've done. And he would have been big as we speak right now. Tayali would have done consultancy at a professional level. And he would have been big. But Tayali, problems. That's why now he knows that what this lady is about to do will be big. That's why he was even listening here. It will be huge. Mwalimu Shakani always waku America. She helped Trump twice come into power. And when Trump started doing shenanigans, she has branched out. She started doing her own thing. And she's gone big. For me, those are the women I would look up to. So that's why I was not seeking positions with any politicians.